Why isn't Michael Biehn remembered as like a major action star? Why didn't he ever break out? It drives me crazy. This guy should have been leading his own action franchises. He should be now like one of the guys. He should have been one of the original Expendables, like one of the guys who's just like on the team, not like a guest star or cameo like Chuck Norris did or even Schwarzenegger. One of the team. He should have been in there from day one. And yet we don't see him around much. There aren't very many movies to look back on and go, you know, there's Michael Biehn front and center. You get movies like Terminator, obviously, but then, except for a deleted scene, he's absent from Terminator 2. He has a great supporting role in The Rock, but doesn't last very long into that movie. Last thing I remember seeing him in, well, he was in The Mandalorian. That was a nice little surprise. Before that, I remember him in Grindhouse. That was like 2007. Why wasn't Michael Biehn a bigger star? It's vexing to me. So much so that there is one movie that he did make where he was the star. I had never seen it before, but I've always been so desperate to watch it that I finally broke down without having ever seen it, and I bought the DVD, and that movie is Navy SEALs. Obviously, the one that they put front and center at the top here, I mean, he's second billed, but Charlie Sheen gets top billing. And I'm just noticing how badly this cover is. I never noticed it before. I think it's supposed to look like Charlie Sheen is holding that gun, but it's at the complete wrong angle, and it's clearly just like the two of them standing there, and then they put the gun like in between them. Yeah, because the gun is apparently even touching Michael Bihn's head if Charlie Sheen is holding it. He's resting it on Michael Bihn's head. That's a terrible cover. Navy SEALs is a really stupid movie. And, you know, people talk about Top Gun being a recruiting video for the Air Force more than anything else. Navy SEALs is just that for, you know, people who would want to be a Navy SEAL. It's a bunch of macho tough guys doing things that nobody in real life does. You know, we're badasses, you know. Oh, there's a scene where, you know, Michael Biehn is and another one of the Navy SEALs are riding in the front seat of a Jeep. Charlie Sheen is in the back. They're going over a bridge. Charlie Sheen says, well, I'm tired of this conversation, and he jumps out of the moving Jeep over the bridge into the water below. No, nobody does that. And, you know, if the point of this was to make young men excited to be a badass Navy SEAL, only stupid young men really bought into it and went out to become Navy SEALs based on this movie. This is a really forgettable movie. Michael Biehn is good in it. Charlie Sheen is good in it for what it is, for the sort of macho 90s tough guy action buddy comedy kind of a thing that it is. They're good. The rest of the Navy SEALs are not memorable at all. I couldn't name you one of them. I don't even remember how many there were. By the end of the movie, the big action scene at the end of the movie, I lose track of who's there. Like, you know, okay, there's Michael Biehn and there's Charlie Sheen. How many more of these guys are there? And, oh, wait, there's another one? Who's he? They don't take the time to develop, they barely take the time to develop the lead characters. The rest of them, they don't really take the time to develop at all. And so you don't give a shit. if you see one of them get shot, you don't care. It's almost like a relief, like, oh, I have fewer characters to keep track of now. It's a really typical plot, you know, Arab terrorists. And Charlie Sheen there's some uncomfortable stuff with Charlie Sheen where he's using some kind of racial slurs against the Arab people, and I don't know exactly what they're going for, because Michael Bihn's love interest in it is supposed to be from that region of the world. He's saying it to her, like, not to her, like, you know, pointing his finger and calling her that, but like, he knows that that's what she is, and he's trying to get a rise out of her, trying to do something. I don't even really know what, but it's a really cringy moment. And a lot of the time, stuff like that, I'll say, oh, that's how they talked back then, or, well, somebody would have used that word back then. With this, it just made me go, what an asshole. Like, what is he doing? Why is he doing this? If you're looking for a movie where Michael Biehn gets to be front and center and have some good action, this movie is for you. If you're looking for a good action movie from that era, it's really not. There are so many that are better. Michael Biehn deserved better. It's got every cliche in the book. I honestly can't remember a single action scene in it. I can kind of vaguely see, you know, in my head, guys turning corners and then just blowing people away without ever, like, oh, there's somebody came around the corner, shoot him dead. Is he one of the bad guys? Maybe, probably, just kill him. It's not a good movie. It's just not. It's got the fun factor of seeing Michael Biehn and Charlie Sheen play these buddy cop kind of characters. And I remember at the time not being bored. It just isn't memorable. Like, you know, you forget about it almost instantly after you've watched it. Do I regret buying it? Kinda. It's not good. I should have just rented it on Amazon Prime or something. It's not really worth owning. So I'm going 2 stars out of 5 for this, mostly for Michael Biehn. And Charlie Sheen was fun enough. I mean, Charlie Sheen back in the day. This is the kind of thing where I get why later on he was in Hot Shots. It wasn't just so he could play the Tom Cruise kind of character. He'd already played that character in Navy SEALs and was spoofing that. So that puts Hot Shots into like a fun context. But yeah, it's just not that memorable. If you never see it in your whole life, you're not missing anything particularly special. 2 out of 5. It's a dumb movie. It's harmless enough, if somewhat offensive, but you're not going to remember it the second you eject it from the DVD player.
The worlds.
Sort of gave myself the challenge of, okay,